Today we're going to talk about the value of having a counselor after having a concussion. It helps to have someone on the outside that you can just talk to that can make some connections for you. You know, when you're seeing different practitioners or you're struggling with the different aspects of having a concussion, feeling isolated, loss of identity when you can't do the job that you've done. I had a concussion 3 years ago that I am still having symptoms from, and I did not know symptoms would continue to come up, new ones that I hadn't had before, like even a week out, a month out. 6 months after my concussion, I was still developing new symptoms. It really helped when I finally went and saw a counselor. I had been looking for answers for help for my concussion, and so there were a lot of doctor's appointments that I was going to. When someone suggested or asked if I was seeing a counselor, I said no, and in my mind I'm just thinking, ugh, that's one more expense that I can't afford right now. But I am so glad that I finally listened and I did go and get a counselor, because there are many issues that you deal with when you have a concussion, and physical and emotional. When you have a concussion, your brain is not what it used to be. You might not make connections in between some of your symptoms or some of the things happening in your life. And so when you check in with a counselor every week, the first month it seemed I was still questioning, I don't know if this is worth anything. I actually ended up switching counselors, and then it was a month after working with her that I realized, wow, this is actually really good for me, because she would notice things or make connections when I was talking about, she'd say, so what's happening to you this week? And I would talk about having gone to see my doctor, or talking about how, oh my goodness, I've just been so sad this week. I just don't know what my problem is. She gave me lots of recommendations for things that I could do. I had told her that when I go outside, sometimes it helps me feel better, when I get a headache. And so she was able to encourage me to do things and remind me of things that made me feel better to do. And then also, she recommended that I go see a nutritionist. Started to make a difference for me, and I didn't realize that if I start my day with 30 grams of protein, I have a lot more energy, and my fatigue is way better. And then also, when you're dealing with other things in your life that aren't even related to your concussion still impacts every part of your life. For me personally, like, it's harder to regulate my emotions. I've always been just a really happy-go-lucky kind of person. If somebody was not nice to me, I just assumed, oh, well, they just must be having a bad day. But then after my fall on my face, I would take things personally, and one of my doctors explained that I have low blood flow in my frontal lobe, which people can tend to have looping thoughts, that they kind of get stuck. And so just knowing and, finding all these things out through different providers, and it's been good to have a counselor that also is able to talk to me about issues that I have, like with one of my kids, or with processing friendship things. And sometimes, she'll say, oh no, that's not just you, it's not just in your head, it's not, that person's not being a good friend to you. And because when you have a concussion, you start to question yourself and things that you do, things that you think, it takes away your confidence. Like I said, I've always been a positive, a driven person. And then when all of a sudden you can't trust your body and your brain to do what you want to do, it also can make you question if your thinking is right, or if you're, am I just being overly sensitive, or is this really an issue? Should I say something about this? So it really has helped a lot. It's just helped me feel grounded again, to have a sounding board. Someone who's outside my life, who's not someone who knows all the people in it, and it really has been helpful. So I personally have gone through BetterHelp. It's been a lot cheaper for me for insurance. Insurance doesn't cover it, but it's cheaper than me using insurance. So that is an option, and if that's something that you want to look into doing online, I found that convenient. There's a link below and you can click on that.